Alright, welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. So in the previous episode, we built ourselves a nice little lunar orbiter craft, and we launched it, and we managed to get ourselves into a nice lunar encounter with a periapsis of 33 kilometers. I'm aiming for low orbit around the moon so that we can farm science data from both high orbit and low orbit. And there's pretty Kerbin with those awesome auroras around the poles, which at the end of this series, going to the moon, we're going to try to get ourselves into a polar orbit around the moon when we come back. This way we can science the data from the poles. Hell, we may even try to land on the poles. Who knows? That would be interesting. But anyways, let's get this show on the road. We made our lunar transit burn, so we're just going to warp out there. Keep an eye on our resources. Our batteries are remaining charged since we have those solar panels. So we already gathered data from far Kerbin orbit. I believe so. So what we're going to do is wait till we're in the moon's gravity before we start doing our crew reports, our goo reports, our EVAs, and all that good fun stuff. I wonder if this pack changed the way the moon looks too. That would be kind of interesting. Saying goodbye to Kerbin. Saying hello to the moon. As Kerbin orbits and rotates. So we're coming up on our encounter. Alright, we'll go back down to 0. And yes, a 33-kilometer orbit. Perfect. Looks like we kind of got skewed up a little bit. We're not quite in a straight-up equatorial orbit, but that's okay. In fact, I might even try to do like poles, the moon poles too, while we're here. I mean, why not, right? So let's just set up a maneuver node, and let's close this orbit up. Something like that. Actually, let's leave one side out a little bit. Yeah, we'll leave one side like that. This way we can get, just in case we missed some kind of data from high moon orbit and all that good stuff. Besides, there's really no point to having a perfectly circular orbit if we're not landing on the moon just yet. In this series, we're just going to orbit the moon and get all the data like that. Speaking of, let's take a crew report. You look down at the cold gray surface, it looks really beat up with craters. So let's send that back. A little dish pops out. Beep, 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 beep. And boom. We got the science from the moon. Oh, we also... Ooh. And we got that parameter from the moon contract completed. We transmitted data from around the moon. Perfect. So we already satisfied one of the contract parameters. All you have to do is achieve an orbit, and we'll get that part of the contract. And then in the next series, after we get all this money and science back, we'll build a better ship and we'll land on the moon. That'll be the next series. Well, if you look really closely, that's the Kerbin, the KSC continent right there. You can barely see it outlined. Very pretty. Let's do a goo. We'll do the goo. The goo feels right at home in space high over the moon. The goo, and we get a nice 30 science from that, so we'll keep that data. And let's get this guy out, and he'll do a little EVA from out here. You recorded your observations about the situation. Very interesting, Jeb. Very interesting indeed. So let's go ahead and just point the ship at the reticle. Oh, and look, the maneuver node stays now. They used to delete those after you got out of your ship, but actually it stays now. I like that. That was a good job, squad. I like that. Maybe it'll tell us now. Ah, yes, so if we don't make any kind of correction, we'll end up in a solar orbit of 14 million kilometers. Something like that. We don't want that. Be a little halfways to Duna. So let's make sure we don't miss this burn. So let's just warp in a little bit. And we got asteroids too. We can maybe do a mission with asteroids at some point. Although I never did master meeting up with the asteroids. I tried to do a couple episodes on it for you guys, but I just couldn't get it. I don't know. I need more practice with it. I kept making mistakes and having to re-record, and it just wasn't coming out right. And I didn't want to get, anyone to thumbs down my videos because I'm just being an idiot, just for like lack of knowledge. So I want to really make sure I know how to do those asteroids. Anyways, approaching the moon. I think it does look a little nicer, doesn't it? Slow it down a little bit. It's going to take 26 seconds. So we'll do this burn around 15 seconds. Zooming in here. And that's also, we'll probably do our Mooner science. Mooner science. I wonder what it considers low Mooner. Let's take a peek at the crew report. Yeah, near the moon. Okay. Same deal. We'll transmit that back for a whopping 15 science. Beep 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 beep. And we'll do our goo. Goo seems to be less dense here near the moon. Interesting. So we'll keep that data. And let's also do the materials bay near the moon. Wow, 75 science. Awesome. High radiation environment. Oh, we're going to miss our burn here. Fuse samples to glow. Looks like it'd be fun to paint the rocket with this. Interesting. So yeah, we'll do our burn. Wow, that's fast. This engine's pretty strong. There we have it. Well, it looks like we... Cool, achieve orbit around the moon. Complete. Excellent. So that's another part of the contract satisfied. So we got the orbit and we transmitted data from around the moon. We got pretty much satisfied our contract. That's what I wanted to do on this mission. So next time we come out here, we can do the second half. We can land on it. But what I want to do now is get our guy out here and do some EVAs. The Midlands, alright. So we'll keep that data. Now there's a ton of moon biomes. Honestly, I'm not quite familiar with all of them. So we'll just have to like guess. I think there's a crater here. I know it's a little dark, but what do you see here, Jeb? Midland craters. Sweet. So that was a different section there. Coming around the far side of the moon now. I'll just like check every once in a while. Every couple seconds we'll check the EVA. Midlands, I think we have that already. Yep. It's kind of hard to see back here. I know that there's a couple craters. We'll just keep checking. Highlands, alright, we'll grab that one. Getting all the science. So this is how you do it, guys. It's a little tedious and it's a little boring. You kind of have to just, do your reports around the different biomes. You have to kind of figure out where they are. I'm sure you could study a map if you wanted. In space, high over the moon. I think we already have that one. Yeah, oh, okay, so you know what? I'm realizing an error. We have to be in close orbit. Let's do this then. Let's see if we could lower this a little bit. Just to get the data from this side. We have plenty of fuel, so it's okay. Oh, wait. Yeah, it's okay if we do it here. Just gonna point it right in. Just kind of lower this side of the orbit. We actually don't even need this. Oh, so this is out of fuel. That's fine, we'll just let that go. That sounded scary. There. Sounded scarier than it really was. So that piece of debris will continue to orbit on that path. Hopefully it doesn't meet up with us at any point. It'll be extremely rare if it does, but here we are. Let's check our EVA again. Oh, right. Midlands, did we get that one? Yes, we got that one already. There's a crater here. We'll get this crater. Actually, what we should do is lower the orbit the right way. We could use the orbital information here. So we want the apoapsis. We'll get it down to about 40 something. Yeah, that's good. Right there. Perfect. So now we can do the low orbit science from anywhere around the moon. I should have thought of that earlier, but I'm silly. Sometimes I don't think of everything. Now, here's a crater. We should definitely get some different science here. The far side crater, yep. So we get 24 science. Wow, we're racking it in. Lots of science. Oh, that looks so nice. That's a screenshot right there. Beautiful. It does look nicer, doesn't it? It's kind of like it's got like a glow with this astronomer's pack. I don't think that was like that default. Let's just keep checking. I know that there's probably more that I'm missing. Midlands, we have that already. Midlands again. Let's get him back in the spacecraft. We don't want to leave him out in space. I think we might be too low for this crater. Let's just check anyway. That would be nice if we could get that one. Come on, Jeb. Nope. So when we do it, we'll try to do a polar orbit, and maybe we'll get that one. Oh, we can get this crater, though. Actually, let's try to get this one. Sorry if this is kind of boring for you guys. Midlands again. But this is how you gotta do it if you want to get dat science. I know that there's an anomaly right up here. There's a gate. I recognize this crater. Right around here, there's one of those moon gates. So if you guys want to check it out, maybe we'll check it out. Who knows? The East Crater, we'll get that data. Getting dat science. Let's see. Alright, let's see if we can put ourselves in a polar orbit without wiping out all our fuel. It'll be tricky. Might not be able to do it in this mission, but it'll take 700 and we have 1400. We can do it, it's just it'll be tricky. Should we do it? Let's do a save first. I think we'll have plenty of fuel. It doesn't barely cost any fuel to get back to Kerbal again. It's only going to be a 21-second burn. We can do that. Yeah, let's do it. Let's be daring. We'll put ourselves into a polar orbit, and we'll get some polar science, some polar EVAs. Ooh. We'll do the burn at about 10 seconds. And here we are. So it's going to think that we're deorbiting. But luckily, we're not deorbiting. We have plenty of fuel to finish it. See, it's looping around. Just changing our orbit. Cool. And let's just make sure that it's in low orbit around there. I think low orbit's like 40. I'd want to do 40 just to be on the safe side. There we go. Cool. Alright, so we just literally pointed one of those directions. We pointed north, and now we're going north. That's how that works. Just changed our orbit. See if any of these things have science in them. These might be like a lowlands or something. Let's try this right here. If you guys know like the exact locations, Highlands again, yep. You know, leave a comment. Say, hey, you know, Hot Jupiter, you know, you're kind of doing this wrong. All right, you got to get the science from here and here, or whatever. That's cool. I won't take offense. In fact, I like when people leave like little hints and suggestions. Well, A, it lets me know people are watching, and B, it's good to learn how to play the game. Another Highlands. I think we got that one. Yeah, we just got that one. We'll board anyway. So we're approaching the poles. I know there's a few different biomes in the poles. I was watching a Scott Manley video, I think. Yeah, just above the moon's poles. Alright. Grab that one. Do a quick check. Yeah, we still have plenty of electric. I always get paranoid that we'll, like, run out of electricity. I think there's a crater. Yeah, a polar crater, I believe. I think we'll just be inside of that one. I wonder if it'll count it. We'll be right about here. Yeah, polar crater. Sweet. 24 science. Getting that science. This is great. So we're looping around this side now, and oh, we just missed that crater. That's a bummer. Wonder if the South Pole will give us a crater too. Or not a crater. What if the South Pole will give us polar science too? Let's just take a look. If it'll give us any different EVA information. Nah. Damn, so it doesn't give us a separate South Pole. That's a bummer. Oh well. Let's see, I'm pretty sure we grabbed that crater. What I could do is just wait till we orbit around enough so that I will get one of these couple of these craters that I missed, because eventually we will be crossing one of these craters. So I might do that. But of course I won't make you guys wait. I'll pause it. Alright, so I didn't feel like waiting. It was taking way too long. But if you guys want to wait, when you're doing this, you can get one of these craters that are slightly higher up, like that one, and I think this is called twin craters, because it's got that thing. I'm not really sure. But yeah, there's a couple craters that are a little higher. If you just wait, you know, the moon will slowly move. It won't rotate on its own axis, but it rotates as it revolves around Kerbin, so you can eventually get some of these other craters in your scopes. But for now, let's get back home again. So this is going to be a little tricky since we're in a polar orbit. I figure we'll pull down like this, so it'll boost it straight at the planet, and then we'll pull one of these like sideways so that we get ourselves into some kind of polar orbit. We'll also bring in our Peri a good amount. So we'll do something like that. Kind of have to finagle it, because we want to be polar, plus we want to bring the periaps in. It's a fine dance with the maneuver nodes. 107 is good. And that's a pretty polar orbit, if I do say so myself. Yeah. That'll do it. That'll do us. So, that's the kind of burn we're going to do. It's kind of a sideways. And again, really all it's doing is escaping around this way, or rather clockwise, and that'll make us lose momentum around Kerbin and fall in towards it. If we were in a normal equatorial orbit, we didn't have to spend the extra fuel to get us to go that way, because we'd already be going around that way, but let's see, it's going to require 693. We have 691, so it'll... actually, now that I think about it, we might not want to do that burn, because that will actually kill us. That we won't be able to get home with that kind of a burn. So think. You know what? We're just out of time. I might have a think about this, and when we come back in the next episode, we'll plan our return trajectory back home to Kerbin. Because I don't want to do this burn. It'll kill us. We'll be stuck in this kind of orbit forever, and that would be very upsetting. So, again, thanks for watching, everybody, and see you in the next episode.